Tonight on Business Live, welcome everyone. Coming up tonight, Ghana Revenue Authority clamps down on unlicensed Chinese factory for recycling cartons of government textbooks into toilet rolls. The EU has released its travel list, which excludes Ghana. We will examine its impact on tourism. Also ahead, we talk about the special edition of the masterclass dubbed Entrepreneurial Rebound. We'll discuss how good customer service could give the businesses suffering during these times the needed impetus. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us once again. Details right after the break. Welcome back to the program. Great to have you as company as always. In our first story, the Tax Enforcement Unit of the Ghana Revenue Authority has clamped down on an unlicensed Chinese factory, Everyday Manufacturing Limited, located at Ewutu Senior constituency in the Central Region. Operators are accused of illegally diverting cartons of government textbooks to be used as toilet rolls. So far, the manager, sales manager, and a Ghanaian interpreter have been picked up by the CID. Charles Aite was with the task force and reports.
Managers of this Chinese facility initially locked their gates to the task force after getting word of the exercise. Security personnel had to jump over the gate to get access. Upon entering, the task force was met with piles of shredded paper left to rot at the mercy of the weather. These shredded papers are from thousands of government-funded textbooks for senior high schools. Henry Ranford Mensah is the head of the GRA Task Force unit to this facility.
These are copies of the exercise. They were supplied by somebody for security reasons, we wouldn't be able to name or mention. They were supplied to these entities. That is Everyday Tissue Company Limited. That is the company that received these supplies. But you agree with me, if you want raw materials, why wouldn't you go out or import some if you don't have the raw materials? But a state-funded textbook is being used by an individual or group of individuals under the guise of doing business. We don't want that kind of business to be done at the expense of the state. Therefore, the law must take its course.
This is also home for the Chinese operators. They are part of a syndicate which diverts containers of textbooks to this facility to be recycled for the production of toilet rolls. Officials of the task force, together with the CID officials, conducted a search of their rooms. This was to take stock of the business records. How many times a week? How many tracks they are on deliver?
One week, another 2 weeks, and different man because of Bakufun farm.
So he's a worker here, and he's been working here for the past 3 months now. And I've been finding out from him, the supply chain, the kind of companies that supply most of these textbooks that are not for sale in actual terms. And what he says is that he cannot really put, a track on the number of times that most of these trucks come deliver the textbooks to them. Sometimes he says between 3 to at least 4 weeks, or sometimes 3 months, they could deliver most of these things. But he's not really sure where these books are coming from, the company that supplies this particular place, the books, and where they are even coming from. Just at the outskirts of the Everyday Manufacturing Limited, we found heaps of locked trunks of forest trees. Joy Business gathers these trunks are provided by some residents at a cost. a violation of Ghana's login regulations.
We are going to do is that we are going to cost these items, these books, and then weigh it against other records that we would peruse. We will look at the bank statement, we will look at the electricity bill, we will look at the cost of these bills, and put them together and have an idea of the cost. And once you are into manufacturing, it is your input that will determine your output. The Commissioner General would use his best judgment in assessing them. We didn't find any tangible record. Section 27 of the Revenue Administration Act mandates businesses to keep and maintain proper records. We did not have any books of accounts, any sales record to lean on. Section 41 of the Value Added Tax Act also indicates that in making taxable supplies, the supplier or the manufacturer is supposed to issue a VAT invoice prescribed by the Commissioner General. We noticed that they were using some papers, sheets of papers, in lieu of the Commissioner General's invoice, and that is contrary to the law. So in addition to the destruction of state property, which the police will handle, the Ghana Revenue Authority will move in to assess them. Any tax shortfall would face a penalty of 75% as penalty.
The clampdown of Everyday Manufacturing Limited is part of a series of distress actions being undertaken by the Ghana Revenue Authority against tax defaulters and evaders. I'm Charles Aite for Joy Business.
Interesting stuff. You're watching Business Live. Now, the disbursement of the $9 million World Bank Tourism Grant for SMEs in the tourism sector is expected to begin next month. 100 businesses are expected to benefit from the scheme, launched together with the Tourism Ministry to strengthen the sector hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, various stakeholders are being engaged in the disbursement process, and we can get the latest from the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Tourism Federation, Emmanuel Frimpong. Great to have you on the program once again. Good evening to you. So,
good evening, Daryl.
Takeaways from today's meeting?
Thank you very much, and a very good evening, listeners. Yes, today we had a meeting with the fund managers of the Ghana Tourism Development Project Fund, and it was a good engagement. But what was obvious was the fact that we need to engage more. Because if you look at the various categories of individuals that could apply, and if you look at our sector, where we have a lot of people in the informal sector whose businesses are not really regularized, we need to look at the best way that we can get them to also benefit from that fund. So that is where we are looking at the moment. So just after the meeting, the fund manager called, and it's most likely we will have another meeting next week.
Okay, I know initially when we talked, you had concerns about the disbursement process. Having sat through this meeting, have some of your fears been allayed? What do you think needs to be done?
We still have some issues, which has to do more with sitting down with them, because they were not consulted when they were doing the whole project, and it looks as if they didn't really understand the business that we are in. So what we need to do is, now they've seen that there's the need to actually consult and also engage us, and that is what we'll be doing going forward. But as you probably might be aware, there is a date for the expression of interest will end on the 8th of July. That is Wednesday's, tomorrow's week, which is quite short, because a lot of people didn't even understand which of the categories they should apply. As a matter of fact, even us as a federation, we realized that we had even applied for the wrong category, and that would disqualify us. So we need to go back on the drawing board, sit down with them, and look at the best way that we can work on this, so that a lot more people can benefit. Other than that, our members will not benefit in this.
Well, yeah, at least the good news is that we know that the money is coming, and we know that 100 businesses are going to be the first batch to benefit from this grant.
Yes, but if you look at the number of businesses that is in tourism, I think the number is not quite encouraging. We need a lot more people to rope on and a lot more people to benefit. But more businesses did not really understand the whole thing. So after this engagement with them, I think people now know which of the categories they should be focusing on. And we're also looking forward to having another meeting with them. And they've also assured us there's that possibility of extending the deadline of July 8th. So it looks good.
Well, we'll move away from that and talk about something else that is going on to do with the EU and the much anticipated travel list. They released that today. If we could pull that list out, so it's got a list of countries that are allowed into European countries when their borders open next month. So there you go. We've got that list for you on your screens. Let me just go through the countries if I can. So we have the Algeria, I believe. We have the Algeria. We have the... just a moment while I try to figure that out on my screen as well. So we have the Algeria. We have the Australia, Canada, Georgia, Japan, Montenegro, Morocco, New Zealand, Rwanda, Serbia, South Korea, Thailand, Tunisia, Uruguay, and China, which is subject to confirmation of reciprocity. Then again, we've just got 4 African countries in there, and Ghana is not a part of it. I know, I'll start from this premise that our borders are shut. So if you're looking to travel for now, you cannot do so. But this decision was based on how far we've come in our fight against COVID-19. What does this say about our fight against the virus, and how would this potentially impact on tourism? Because now we understand that it will be reviewed every 2 weeks.
I think, Darrell, if you look at the list, unfortunately, we have just 4 African countries in there. And interestingly, we also have US there. That is quite interesting because if you look at the numbers of the infection, US tops. And why would US be there? And a country like Ghana is not there. So it means there's something going on behind the scenes that we probably might not be aware. So we need to be pushing, we need to be asking questions and looking at, so we need to do our homework well, find out what we went into this and what is it that we need to do to COVID-19 has also exposed a lot of things that to form domestic tourism and intra.
I think we are struggling to get to, right?
It's not going on domestic tourism and Darrell.
Apologies, we're having issues hearing you well, but I think that the point has been made, hasn't it? The fact that we need to sit up as a country and really fight this virus and really, of course, get the EU to review that list once they're able to time with us tonight on Business Live.
Yeah.
You're watching Business Live on JoyNews. Let's move on to some other conversation. Now, in the last few weeks, we have shared with the impact of COVID-19 on businesses, and I've spoken with entrepreneurs who are trying real hard to deal with its impact. Now we want to take the conversation a notch higher, and Joy Business is bringing together resource people to help entrepreneurs navigate the storm in a conversation dubbed the Entrepreneurial Rebound. Earlier, I spoke with John Ama, who is a business development consultant, on issues related to that and what to expect.
In very, very, very strange times, and companies are looking at how they can be resilient. For companies that don't have what you call a resumption or contingency plan, they've been wondering, how do I tackle the effects of COVID on my business? So from micro, small, medium enterprises, everyone is asking very critical questions of themselves. Do I have the staying potential? Do I have the earning potential? And do my customers still have the purchasing power to continue to do business with me over what life cycle? Should I be looking at product diversification? What does my burn rate look like? What does an investment look like for me? How does marketing look like in COVID? How do I deal with inventory management, among others? So there's so many things that businesses are looking at that we think is important. That's why this program is essential. It's bringing together parties from taxing, from taxation, from financial management, from human resource, to answer the critical questions around the business anatomy of a business. What do I do in COVID? How do I stay relevant? What do I do in product development? How do I manage teams? How do I manage my cash cycle? How do I deal with creditors? How do I deal with suppliers? And what is the investment thesis critical for me to be resilient post-COVID? We will look at this conversation from a number of angles. From one, he who is seeking to start and he who has started. And look at it from really the essentials of starting, essential of growing the business. Is it a good time to look at cutting down costs in my business? Is it a good time to defer some payments within my business? Is it a good time to look at diversification? What will marketing look like? So same things. If we spill all the beans now, we may not have people on the program, but we can assure the listeners and viewers of Joy that when you watch this program, we will attempt to answer your questions around value chain analysis. Which part of the value chain should you be considering? What are the investment theses that you need to create to be able to be resilient in this economy? And I'm sure that my seniors and myself would seek to do just that in answering the questions.
And welcome back to Business Live. Before that short break, we were hearing from John Ama, who is a business development consultant, on the conversation we're going to be having tomorrow on the masterclass on Entrepreneurial Rebound. That is on Joy FM at 1 p.m. You see the flyer over there. We are bringing together resource people from various aspects of business to sort of help you survive if you are in a fix right now as a result of this pandemic. One important area we want to tap onto is customer service, and I'm joined by a customer service consultant, who will be a part of that conversation when it happens tomorrow. Great to have you on Business Live. So, question: what has customer service got to do with surviving as an entrepreneur during this time of COVID-19?
Good evening to our listeners. I think we can't do anything or talk about entrepreneurship without talking about the customer. And you would agree with me that no matter how big your dream is, no matter how fantastic your strategies are, you put these things in your business for a group of people who you anticipate will come and buy or pay for your services and your products. And so if we're having this talk without customer service, then we're really not looking at the end users of the products and services that we actually go out to sell. So it's a very, customer service is a very important topic when we come to the entrepreneurial rebound.
And how far should business owners go in trying to please and win over their customers?
I think you need to do any and everything. Customer service is the business. So if you're running a business currently and you're not really thinking about your customer, this is the time to do it. We all know that, yes, there's been an economic hiatus, and with COVID, everyone is, kind of like, there are lots of people who are still trying to find their feet. However, this is the time for you to also re-strategize and start thinking about your customer. You might be going through something, but your customers are going through something too. So as the person who provides the service, you need to now re-strategize and learn how to empathize with them, get to understand what they feel, what they want, and what they will be anticipating, so that you can put yourself in a position where you're ready even now and then after COVID?
Well, the reason why I'm asking is that as we talk about customer service, people are wondering, should I do free giveaways? Should I do something extraordinary, especially at this time when my pocket is not so good? But I guess right now is the little things that matter, right? The smiles, the etiquettes. Tell me more.
Absolutely. I think for now, you can't just jump into giving out freebies. People want to now see you as a service provider or as an organization that cares. So you need to find out, first of all, what tickles my customer. What does my customer want? A lot of us do not even engage with our customers. We've never carried out surveys to find out what they want. We don't even know what they anticipate in the next quarter or the next 6 months. Those are the things we need to be doing. Now, once we've done that, engaged with them and understand exactly what they want, then we can give them what they're looking for. It would be premature to just do free giveaways and all the other stuff that I see a lot of people trying to do. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I think you need to be a bit more intentional in trying to put a package together for the people that you call your customers. So it's time now to engage your customers, find out what they want, and then give them what they want.
I do like free giveaways. I wouldn't mind, Yvonne.
Anyway. I'm sure your people are listening, those who provide you with
Anyway, one more thing. I mean, as a business owner, I'm still dealing with my personal frustrations with the virus. I may even have family members who are having to deal with the situation. And then I'm supposed to be nice and put away my personal frustrations, be nice, smile to a customer. How do I handle that? How do I handle my personal frustrations at the same time, ensure that my customer is happy?
I think if you remember the day you had a dream to actually set this business up, just go back to the excitement you had and the kind of experience you wanted to create for your customers. Now, once you can go back to that, try and relive it. The problem now is we're all going through this, but nobody's going to cut you any slack as a business owner. We expect you to continue and even now improve the way in which you offer your service. So nobody, and I wouldn't take the excuse that, we're all going through COVID. Yes, but I'll be still giving you your money, right? I'll still pay for a service. So I want value for money. So you now have to have a mindset change that regardless of the current situation, I am going out there to give my customer 110% of me. So there are two things. You can either there are two expressions you can wear. And this is my own quote. You can either wear an expression that would guarantee a smile on the customer's face or another expression that would not guarantee anything. Now you make a choice. Which one do you want to wear? So we have to put our own issues aside, put yourself in the shoes of the customer, and remember that you are also a customer. So when you walk into certain places, you want to treat your customers the way you expect your service providers to treat you.
Great stuff. Looking forward to that conversation with you tomorrow on the masterclass. Customer service consultant Yvonne Aboagye-Wiafe. We are so grateful that you could share a few thoughts with us. We'll be listening tomorrow on Joy FM 99.7. Great to have you on the program. Thanks. And before we go, just give me some good customer service, Laura. I'll put out the Joy Business Masterclass conversation, the flyer there, just so we can let our viewers in on it one more time. If you could put up the flyer. It's happening tomorrow. Yeah, there you go. With those 6 people you see on your screen, you would have Yvonne Aboagye-Wiafe, customer service consultant, John Amma, business development consultant, also financial consultant William Demitia, Charles Mensah, William Demitia is a tax consultant who will be part of the conversation. Samuel Boafo, who is a human resource consultant, as well as Deridin Dadzi, who is a technology consultant. It's happening tomorrow, July 1st at 1 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll be live on other social media channels, and you can be on it via Zoom as well. So great stuff. And that's Business Live tonight. Thanks everyone for watching. My name is Darryl Kwa. We will be back same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching.